Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar on the Rural Tourism Research Data Program. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you can all see it. There we go. Right. So, welcome to our webinar on the Rural Tourism Research and Data Grant. My name is Mike Bowe. I'm the Director of Tourism Development and Strategic Partnership for State of Washington Tourism. And today we are going to provide you with an overview of our Rural Tourism Research and Data Program. It's designed to help your community pay for the tourism research and data that you need for your destination. First, as always, I want to give credit to the Washington State Department of Commerce, who awarded SWT with $3.5 million in destination planning and development. This program provides the funding for this grant and all of our grant programs to come this year and next. So a big thank you to Commerce for their confidence in SWT. So we have a decent little agenda here today. First, I'm going to give an overview of the Research and Data Grant. And then our Destination Development Coordinator, Tamara Rice, will show you how to apply on the new grant management platform. It's not new now, I guess it's over a year old, but it is tricky. And so I'm sure many of you have been through it before, but if you're new to this process, please stay on and make sure you see how to apply on the that platform. We should have plenty of time today to answer questions, maybe a few times throughout the presentation, and then at the end, I'll keep an eye on the chat, and don't forget to use the Q&A buttons if you have an actual question. It's just easier to keep those separate. Also, like I said, this webinar is recorded, and so I will be sending this link out to all of you so you can review it later if you have questions or just want to remember something we said. So let's get started with our program overview. This grant is designed to help underserved and underfunded communities discover and share critical information that can improve the overall impact of tourism in their community. Now, once again, I'll urge you not to get too hung up on the word rural. I know that's, it's part of our purview, and we're always doing what we can to help our rural stakeholders, but it's not always rural. Okay, so like any community that has need can apply to this this grant, and so just think of it in terms of need rather than geography. This grant can help a variety of projects, including but not limited to the ones here on this list. Applicants must be a Washington-based organization, such as a local government, like a city, a county, a tribal organization, a chamber, a destination organization, or some other nonprofit that supports travel and tourism. Here are some key program dates. Now, please note that these dollars come from the Department of Commerce, and we can only invoice Commerce after we have all of our contracts in place with our grantees. And then we can only fund the grants once we've received the money from Commerce. So notice there are some approximate dates on there because the money needs to wind through the Commerce machinery and then through us and then out to you. But we do try to get it to you as soon as possible. Up to $25,000 will be awarded for each grant. Matching funds are encouraged, but not necessarily required. And for this program, we have $152,000 total available. I've already gone through the qualified applicants, but it's mostly they're nonprofits or governmental organizations that deal with tourism. Also, one thing I want to note before I move on is that if you apply for this grant, you are not precluded from applying from any of our other grants. You can apply for more than one. It's not a problem. And then, though it's not necessarily in our grant criteria, we always want to see collaboration with other stakeholders, including DMOs, chambers, tribes, local government, and land managers. So, for example, if you're a nonprofit, in the Bellingham area, we'd love to see you working with, Bellingham, Whatcom County Tourism. That sort of collaboration always helps in our evaluation. Rules around federal funding. As I've mentioned, this is federal money, and so the rules are more stringent than back when we were doing our own grant program. First of all, when you're using federal grant dollars, they are federal grant dollars all the way down from the feds through Commerce, through us, to you until they hit whatever business or subcontractor you use. So the rules, they do not change. First of all, you will have to have a UEI number that's activated, which is not just not just the UEI number. You have to actually go in and make sure it's activated. You can acquire it for free at sam.gov. A link will be provided on your application, but it takes a little while to go through it. So if you don't have an activated UEI number, don't dilly-dally, go and get that taken care of. Your subcontractors, they don't need a UEI number. But they do need a UBI, which is the Washington Unique Business Identifier, and then an EIN number. So just make sure they all have, whoever you're working with has those numbers. Your subcontractors must be billed on a reimbursement basis. So you pay them after they do the work, and then they send you an invoice and you pay them. Every dollar spent needs to match a receipt. We will provide you with a reporting template, but you really need to keep track of the dollars on this grant. And finally, dollars cannot be used for staff salaries. You need to hire, if you're doing some sort of research, you need to hire a legit research company, not just, your marketing person or somebody, affiliated with your organization. Also with the subcontractors, I've already seen this in a couple of applications in our recent grant. Do not tell us who you're using in your application, because you need to go through the procurement process. That means you need to have, 3 qualified applicants, and then you select it after, you have the grant. If you're telling us who you're using in your grant application, we're automatically going to disqualify your application. So just don't do it. After you submit your application, our grant review committee will score the application based on the criteria listed here. You need to provide a detailed proposal of the tourism research and data you're seeking. Include some of the questions and gaps that you're trying to cover, as well as learning outcomes. How will this research and data guide strategy in relation to travel or tourism in your community? And then describe how you plan to conduct tourism research or data with this grant. And please include budget summaries or partners, project timelines, but again, without naming specific vendors for the contract work. Provide a statement of need for your tourism research and data in your community. Why does your destination have a need for this grant money? And then what kind of match funding will be available for this project? And finally, how will you comply with all of your reporting requirements? Okay, I'm going to stop there. I know that some of you might have questions. And here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and then we don't have questions yet. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Tamara Rice, and she's going to walk you through the application process. And Tamara is getting over being sick, so just give her some grace here. But Tamara, do you want to take it over?
Yeah, hi everybody. First I want to let you know where to find the link. So you'll find it on the SWT's grant landing page on January 6th when this grant opens up. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And which one? I believe this is the right one. Yeah, let me move some stuff out of the way so you can see it. All right, so when you click on the apply button that's on the grant landing page, you'll come to this program info page. And this information is a lot of the information that Mike just went over. It has the application timeline, your stipulations for working with contractors. This is really important. Get familiar with this. Here's the RCW information, 2 CFR 200, and if your project requires working with the OFM reimbursement rates, there's that information too. There's also a link to the FAQ for this grant, and also a FAQ page for the WiseHive application portal, and then my contact information. When you click on apply, you will come to the area where if you already have an account, go ahead and log in. But if you're a new user, you'll enter your information here. And the email address that you include here, once you click create account, will receive a 6-digit passcode. And you'll want to, excuse me, you'll want to enter that information in there. And then you'll move right along to the opportunity to create your new organization. So when you create a new organization, we're asking that you please use this button right above the back button that says create new organization. Please do not use the Create Using GuideStar. We're not using that plugin. Unfortunately, we're unable to take that off of this application information, but click on Create New Organization. So I already have a test organization set up. And so the information that you will be collecting, Mike, am I running through are you seeing me change screens here okay?
Yep, nope, you're doing
Okay.
great.
Great, thank you. So the profile information that we'll be collecting is your organization's legal name, your EIN number, and your your UEI number. As Mike said, remember this is an active registered UEI number. If you just have a UEI number, that is not enough. Make sure it has an expiration date on it. Your active registered UEI number does need to be renewed annually. So that's the key there. If you don't see an expiration date, it's probably not an active registered UEI number. It takes a little bit of time, so get right on that. We'll need your Washington UBI number, your organization's mailing address, primary contact. We would like to have other contact information listed here, but if for some reason you don't have any other information, another contact to list, please enter NA in the first two fields as they are required. Do you have a DMO to list? Go ahead and list that here. And then save your profile and continue. So at this point, you will actually come to apply, click on apply, and your eligibility check. And so the eligibility check has two questions. Does your organization reside in Washington? That is a requirement. Are you a for-profit business? For-profit businesses are not eligible. So I'm going to click no. And I'm eligible. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. Whoop, sorry, got a little loop going here. Okay, so what you'll see is you will click on apply and you'll go into your application and you'll go into these sections here where we'll be collecting your project information. The grant amount requested at maximum is $25,000. Are you open to partial funding? The estimated total cost of your project category. There's an opportunity to click on other, so you can enter other if you don't see your project category on this. And then we'll go ahead and go on. Your project location. And are there other locations that this project will be located in? And you'll enter that information there too. Collect the question answers here. And we've got 6 questions there. For your supporting documents, we do ask that you use the grant applicant budget template that we have here, linked here. This really helps our review committee go through the budgets a lot easier, so do use that. We need to have your confirmation for your EIN determination or affirmation letter. This is not just that you have an EIN number, so make sure you upload the right information there. If you have questions on that, just email me. Here's information for your uploading your UEI, active registered confirmation, and your UBI. We'll also need a signed and dated with current year W-9 form, and links to the W-9, they're right here. Links to the UBI information is here, and SAN.gov. We'll need to collect your organization's annual budget information and your legislative district information. Here's a link to find your legislative district. This is for your organization. And if you have optional documents, remember what Mike said, if you do submit a draft quote upload here, make sure you do not upload any information that has a vendor name on it. Let's see, we'll also need to collect a description of your organization and your organization URL. Letters of recommendation are not required, but as they are recommended. And you can add up to 3 here. And finally, we're at the agreement and signature. So please understand this is not, you're not signing this as a contract. you're just signing it to let us know that you are completing this with integrity and accuracy. If you are successful as a final award applicant, then you will receive a award contract to sign. And you're not seeing it on here, but what you will see up at the top here is a button to review your application. Please spend time to get a second set of eyes on this to review it. Once you submit it, you're unable to edit it. And then there'll be a button right here that says submit. There's also a button at the bottom that says submit. So I think that's about it. So I'll go ahead and quit sharing my screen. Mike, do you think I missed anything there?
Nope. Great job. Thank you. So before I'm gonna share my screen one more time. I'm gonna show you just a budget template that we have for you to fill out. And it's a really simple spreadsheet for you to just go through. And again, you're not putting in actual vendors in this. You're just saying this is the activity that we're doing. So, obviously you're doing research and data. So be more like, you're paying for X kind of data and research, and you're describing what it'll be and how much it'll be and how much you'll be using for the tourism grant and the expense, how much you'll use for your own money, and then maybe you've had somebody who said that they'll do some in-kind work on it, and so you'll put it in here. And this is really important because when we're reviewing the applications, I always go straight to the budget just to make sure everything is in order and you're using the money for the right kinds of activity. So that's all we have for you right now. I don't see any questions or any comments here. Tamara is putting our emails into the chat. If you have any questions, I'll give you just a couple of seconds. Oh, I see one in the Q&A button. There we go. Can you give examples of the types of research and data or programs that would work for this grant? Yes, I did that earlier, but I can go back and show you that list again. Let's see here. We have plenty of time. Here we go. These are some of the things that could work. I know that people have used it for outdoor recreation, uses, and just be aware that some folks might want this research to try to build up more tourism, or some people might want to disperse tourism. It just depends on, it's not always just about adding more people to your destination, and so you can use it to however you need to make tourism work for you in your destination. Hopefully that answers your question there, Ryan. Okay. In a previous grant process, we were told in-kind amount did not count towards our matching amount. So basically, when we were saying we want to see matching, matching is not required. We've said that, but if you're counting your own work, in your office, that does not count towards the match. What we're looking for really is, some of your stakeholders who might, offer, a discount for their services, or volunteers outside of your organization working on a project that would count as in kind rather than you just doing your job, I guess. that doesn't count as in kind. Gretchen asks, with applications due February 6th, when will the announcements be on who has awarded the grants? I'm going to share my screen one more time here. Go back to the key program dates. Again, we're way ahead of schedule, so I have no problem going back. I probably went through this a little bit too fast. Here are the key program dates. Remember, these are approximate. Just working with Commerce, it's a big, organization. Also, there's a lot of turnover there right now because new administration, so just keep that in mind. So sometimes it does take a little while for us to get the money so then we can send it out to you. One important note that I didn't mention is that all of this money from all of our grant programs need to be spent by the end of December. Everything needs to be done, by the end of 2025. All that EDA funding is done at that time. So just make sure that your project is fully happening within 2025. All right, let's see. Okay. Right. I think we have answered all the questions. Again, feel free to reach out to Tamara is really your guide through these programs. She knows the details and the ins and outs much more than I do. I just like to come on and talk on the webinar. So please reach out to Tamara if you have any questions. Her email is there, and if she's not available, feel free to reach out to myself, and we'll get you the information that you need. So thank you so much. And again, this is recorded, so the webinar will be sent out here in the next day or two. And so we really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.